County lines are phone lines, not border demarcations. You can't traffic people over them. The rape gang inquiry report is junk. All right, so this video has 4 million views. Mm-hmm.
The rape gang inquiry report is out. The rape gang inquiry report is out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try not to laugh because it feels mean.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, what the hell? What the hell's going on? What's wrong with her? Oh my god.
I haven't read the whole thing. It's 219 pages. It's only just come out a couple of hours ago. Okay, so this time last year I went to Alistair Harrison and I explained to him that in order for the report to stand up to scrutiny when it was released, it needed a proper methodology and it needed a proper, what do they call it, terms of reference, okay? And that he needed somebody to create that, preferably with somebody with expertise. Although I said, I mean, I have some expertise being a journalist and having written reports. I was happy to do that kind of work. But ideally, it needed to be somebody who actually had, like, you know, proper grounding in things like statistical analysis and research methods and all that kind of stuff, right?
Anybody who is even average intelligence in a Western country would be able to figure this out immediately. You don't need to be a genius to figure this out. It's actually quite obvious.
So I actually wasn't going to do it myself. I was going to find people who do know how to do that thing. But I was going to at least steer it, because I know what...
It's crazy how much these people worship credentialism. It really is. Like, you have to be some kind of, like, an expert to be able to read a chart.
It's kind of meant to, you know, be there. Obviously, none of that got done, because Alistair Harrison said to me, we're not going to pay you. And I said, okay, but you still need someone to do all this stuff, or you'll just get ripped apart. And he said, don't worry, we've got a lawyer on it who's going to write it for free. Now, it turns out that they did not have a lawyer on it to write it for free. They had Josh Firm, who's from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, not a lawyer, and Harris,
none of this is actually about anything. This isn't even about anything. There's nothing even going on here. So, like, okay.
Charlie Downs and Harrison Pitt, who I believe are also not lawyers. And so, as a result, they also haven't done their research either. Because on page 11, for example, we find the following. In each of these areas, the same tactics were used. Girls as young as 11, ... were trafficked across county lines. County lines are phone lines. And you don't even have to do a lot of digging to find that out, right? Literally, all you have to do is Google what is a county line, and it will tell you that county lines are the way that urban drug dealers get their drugs out into more rural areas. They have phone lines that people can call to get drugs. Those are county lines. So you cannot traffic somebody over a county line unless you're trafficking them over a phone line.
Well, they're talking about being trafficked from, like, one area to another area, right? There's, like, different demarcations and areas inside of Europe that they're being moved from one area to another area. That's obviously what's being discussed. That's what's being said. Like, we know, like, I mean, county, this can mean multiple things. Like, county is this can be a term like a phone line, she said. It can be a geographic location. I mean, really, I don't even know. How is this even happening?
Which I guess is technically possible if you're also selling them on a phone line or via that phone. But that's not what they mean here, right? So if they haven't understood the basics of how the drug network works in this country, then they have absolutely no hope of understanding grooming gangs, because grooming gangs are criminal cartel enterprises. That is the grooming gang, right? It's a criminal gang. And the two are very, very closely aligned. Where you get drugs, you get grooming gangs, and vice versa. This is exactly what Alexis J was talking about in her 2014 12 years ago report on Rotherham, the really famous one that everybody knows about, because
there's drugs. Yeah, people know this.
That's what got this whole thing kind of off and running in the first place. Okay, so that was the report that came out of Andrew Norfolk's reporting, which obviously he started in 2011.
Yeah,
he made a big noise about Rotherham. The council came under scrutiny, and then Alexis J was hired to write her report. And she has a whole chapter in her report that just talks about a woman named Angie Heel. Angie Heel was hired in 2002, I believe, by...
Holy fuck, what a waste of time. We've been listening to this for 4 minutes, and the only thing that she's managed to say is that they use the term county wrong. Oh my god. Like, what is... Holy shit, what a waste. These are the kinds of people that work at companies that need to get fired. These are the exact fake jobs, fake people that contribute nothing. They input nothing. They're not saying anything. It's just these like weird, credentialism and, drawing distinctions without a difference.
The police, the South
oh my
police,
god!
I believe it's called. It was.
Where are these people coming
Rotherham, from? To look at actually drugs, right? And what she found very, very quickly was that there were a lot of vulnerable children attached to the drugs trade, and so she went to the police at that point and said, "Hey, if you want to be properly safeguarding children, then you need to look at this connection with drugs." And they ignored her. They actually buried the report. That's why Alexis J accused them of looking the other way and being institutionally complicit. So that got buried. Then she released another report in 2003, another one in 2005, and then she quit because nobody was listening to her and nothing was getting done about it. So Alexis J identified that as long ago as 2002, the Rotherham trade could have been stopped if the police and the councils had looked at the connection between drugs and children who were being groomed. None of that, I'm going to assume from that line in the Rape Gang Inquiry Report, has made it into the Rape Gang Inquiry Report. Because if it had, they would know that county lines are phone lines and not county demarcation lines, and therefore you don't get trafficked across them.
But they're being trafficked around, right? I mean, like, this is what's... it's so insanely, like, these people are the people that in every single company and in every single organization should be completely fired and sidelined. They contribute nothing, they add nothing, they create nothing. All they do is just complicate things that are very obviously understood by average people. Maybe that's the reason why they don't understand them. And then they act like this is some kind of a crazy difference.
I'm going to leave this video here because I will start banging my head against the desk. But I hope this gives you some idea of how little research these guys have done. They've also put a whole load of stuff in there about the Muslims and how awful the Muslims are, but in really, really vague terms. Everywhere there are Muslims, you get these problems. Well, there are 2 billion Muslims on the planet. I don't think it's literally everywhere. But anyway, that's a story for another day. See you later.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's because in the Muslim countries, they'd just be killed. That's the reason why. That's why they come to Britain to rape people. It's because if they did it in Pakistan, they'd be given the death penalty. That's the reason why. They do that in Saudi Arabia, you're dead. So actually, yeah, that's definitely it. And so this is, oh my, I don't even know. This is shit you're smugly and glibly debunking by nitpicking semantics, fucking evil freak. Exactly. Are you actually laughing at the fact that 250,000 young girls were tortured, raped, and trafficked in the past 2 decades? Your response here is disgusting. Just want to say fuck you before you delete this. She's Jewish. Okay, thanks, Dan. Thanks a lot. Yep. Wow. He read her bio. It says British Jew. And Dan's like, oh. neuron activation. Jew. Jew. Jesus Christ, what a fucking idiot. You might be single-handedly increasing the global anti-Semitism in this video. Exactly. Some people don't know boundaries. What a horrible woman. Yes, exactly. Imagine wanting the report to be done properly. What a monster I am. Well, the thing is, she doesn't want the report to be done properly. She wants to make appeals to credentialism, and she wants to draw semantic distinctions so she can invalidate the conclusions of the report because she doesn't like what the conclusions of the report are. So she actually doesn't have a problem with like any of the report being done properly. Her idea of the report being done properly is when the report doesn't have the same type of conclusions that she wants in it, right? That's really it. And write a comment. I don't really think I have a lot to say, honestly. And these are county lines. What is this here? Reverse or violent form of drug application. Yeah, what is this here? Can I find it? And context. Yeah, I mean, this is the context. What is this here? And oh my fucking God, these people are just so stupid. It's unbelievable. And a millionaire using survivors to further his own political ambitions. I agree, it's disgusting. Man, I think that we should send people like this to Pakistan. We need to send them to Afghanistan or Pakistan. We do. And yeah, she's on the reform payroll. I heard about that. So this girl apparently is actually being paid by Reform, which is a rival party in the in the UK. I was going to say the Middle East, but it's in the UK. So here's the person. Turns out that Donna, the Sharpsire Clear, who laughed at the horrific torture, rape, and grooming of 250k white British girls, is paid by Reform. So here it is. This is the person. Counselors and decision making. This is her. And so again, person or name of person making payments. All right, member guidance notes of Reform UK. Oh, I can't really quite show you guys, but there it is. Wow. That's crazy. How about that? So they're going around. Rupert needs to make a video about that. Well, I think that, again, like the people that think like this or say this kind of stuff, there's nothing you're really going to be able to do to, like, you know, make them not think this or make them not believe this. They're just going to believe whatever they want because they're delusional. Even the UK Reddit covered this more than mainstream media. Let me go and look at this here. So the UK, yeah, just to disprove Restore Britain. Yeah, they don't see. The reason why they do that, the rape gang inquiry, it only has 1,000 updates. I wonder why, and 900 comments. It's a hard read, unfathomable. Oh my God. The majority is convicted groups and consists entirely of Muslim men. It's good to see this finally coming out. Asian grooming games was always a deflection. It goes on to quote some harrowing statements about the abuse, which I will not post verbatim. I'm glad to see this too. Even, dude, Reddit is going to need to get lobotomized. This is really bad. This is going to happen again. It'll be interesting watching people put more effort into debunking this video than actually solving the problem, especially as NGOs routinely publish investigations and reports, which are then used to inform government policy, and those are not usually dismissed from the onset. Hopefully this galvanizes Westminster to get the statutory inquiry moving. Yeah, I don't think so, right? Believe all victims goes out the window if it harms your viewpoint, it seems. Oh, man. Absolutely horrific. The perpetrators and their families who stood by them need deporting. I am... Even Reddit, dude. Even Reddit. I finished with the executive summary, very forthright and exactly what is needed. It ended with, we need to intern release full witness testimonies, begin civil and private actions. Lowe is doing more than the entire Labour Party on this issue. Yeah, there it is. Let me see if we've slipped into comically evil territory here. I think you read this, you actually read what's being allowed to happen to avoid bad optics and have your blood begin to boil. You must have some kind of fatal flaw in your brain. I'm disgusted in this country. The thing is that, again, you can be as disgusted as you want, but until you're willing to until you're willing to take action to solve the problem, then it doesn't really matter how angry you are. It doesn't really make a difference one way or another. Did you notice her post got ratioed? Yeah, obviously. But I have to say that it's not Muslim, it's North African. Well, you're right. It's also Africans too. No, it's absolutely true. It's people from non-Western countries that are not China and Japan, basically, right? And so really it's people coming from Pakistan, Afghanistan, probably Somalia, Morocco, Albania, all of these other places. It's not just, you're right, it's not just Muslims. You're absolutely right. But it's all foreigners. So not all of them, but I think many of them are foreigners. Yes, duh, of course. Algeria, yes. That's Albania. I mean Algeria. Yeah, sorry about that. And so anyway, aren't North Africans the same shit? It depends, right? But anyway, let's scroll down and we'll look at this here. The question is, what's going to be done about it? Am I right in thinking Lowe is going to use parliamentary privilege to name all of the redacted individuals in the report? If that's something he has the power to do, and assuming the individuals with their names redacted aren't the victims, I'd be supportive of outing the people responsible. I wouldn't be supportive of outing the people responsible. That's not what I would be supportive of. I think the public still struggles to wrap their heads around the sheer scale and war crime levels of barbarity involved here. Ultimately, I believe the UK needs a public truth and reconciliation process on this. No 400-page report that's forgotten about in a week. Get a judge from Australia and New Zealand to lead it. It's absolutely abhorrent that people in a position to do something about this know it and didn't do anything more. Here's what people on Reddit need to understand, is that Reddit is just as complicit in this inside of the scope of what they can do as the politicians are. Because Reddit, and honestly, in some ways, it's worse that Reddit did this, because at least the politicians get votes out of it. Reddit doesn't even get anything out of it except for their ideology reinforced. So the website that you're on actively censors and shuts down any discussion about this that could be seen as problematic or damaging to what's seen as multicultural relations. So really, or it's racist to say this or something like that. I think that that's the real problem. That's the main issue here. And so when you're on this website, you need to also be turning your anger to the admins on this website. You need to be turning your anger to the moderators on this website and saying, why the fuck are you deleting posts, and have you been deleting posts about these topics for literally years? Reddit is an engineered left-wing echo chamber because it is enforced to be that. If you gave these people total freedom to post, you'd have my opinion that's at the top of Reddit every fucking day. That's the reason why. The only reason why that's not happening is because everybody that thinks like I do has either been banned or is getting their content deleted, or they're afraid to be banned so they don't express themselves. So again, Reddit really needs to be looking at this. You guys need to be looking at this and understanding that these social media websites, like the one you're using right now, was complicit and also even cooperative in allowing this lie to continue for years. So that's what I think. That's my opinion on this. And I got permabanned from Reddit for calling out radical Islam. Well, I don't know really what people got banned for, but I'm saying in general, that's it. And pretty hard to rattle. Chloe's story, complete failure by government, doctors. Yeah, exactly. And I can read some of the more pieces, some of the other pieces of information about this, right? And where it is here. And so let's see. She wrote a post on Facebook alleging that she had been a victim of grooming gangs. The post went viral. Within half an hour, the police arrested her and she was being sent to prison. People have no idea how bad the report is. I'm thinking about dedicating a stream to reading it. I'm considering this. And that way, like, you know, people can really get an idea of, like, how bad this really is. It's a 200-page thing. So, like, yeah, yes, please. Maybe I will, right? Like, it'd take me all stream. It would be a huge one. All right, I'm back. Give me a minute. Excuse me. There it is. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should do that. I should read the entire thing on stream and go through all of it. I don't know. Maybe I do that tomorrow. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. And if there's a lot of people that want that or think it would be a good idea, I could do this. What's most racist either called out or implied that one of the victims in the report. Let me see if I can pull this up and find it. And yeah, like the Epstein files. Yeah, I mean, I could do it. It's 200 pages. It needs to be done to make the UK government look worse. Would Twitch ban you for that? No, they wouldn't ban me for it. It'd be totally fine. Reading it won't do anything. Only experience changes opinions. Well, it's about getting the message out to more people. I think that's really it. And I do think that definitely this information does change opinions. Like, people's opinions do change based off of information. It's just not as easy as you think it should be, right? But that's at least what I think. Probably be a low volume stream, but you'll be doing a good thing. Yeah, I mean, like, I think I might have to. So anyway, let me take a look at this here. Only the police took any formal action in issuing harboring notices to the men, official warnings that they had no permission to associate with, contact, or house a vulnerable child. However, no further action was followed. When Fiona's mother called the police to report her daughter missing and mentioned a history of abuse by Asian men, the call handler told her, "You can't describe them as Asian men because that's racist. You should just be glad your child is being taught into a different culture." On one occasion, a police officer returned Fiona to the house where the abuse was occurring, and they told the men to have fun with her. On another occasion, the police instructed the abusers that if they could persuade Fiona to sign herself out of care, the police would stop bothering them. Wow. That's crazy. Isn't that nuts? Bro, what's going on in the UK? Well, this is it is the white guilt taken to the lowest common denominator. That's tame compared to some of this stuff. Yeah, maybe I should read. I mean, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I might just do this tomorrow. I might just do this tomorrow and read everything and go through it. And so, yeah, I saw this before. Fucking hell, this is dark. Yep, there's another one right there. And let me see if I can find some more of these. Oh, here we go.
Huge bombshell news today. The rape gang inquiry report has just been published in full. It lays bare the astonishing scale of the rape, abuse and torture of potentially hundreds of thousands of young white girls at the evil hands of predominantly Pakistani Muslim men and men from other Muslim countries. The report is 219 pages long. I spent most of the afternoon sifting through it, and here are my key takeaways. The first case of a Pakistani rape gang apparently dates back to Bradford in 1955, which indicates this abuse has been going on for more than 70 years. Yeah. Rape gang convictions between 1997 and 2018 reveal that 87% of people convicted for group-based sexual abuse have traditional Muslim names. Analysis 87%?
Holy shit.
Of 264 convictions for group-based child sexual exploitation between 2005 and 2017 found that 84% of the perpetrators were South Asian, with the vast majority Pakistani Muslim.
Wow. That's a lot of coincidences. Holy shit.
Only 7% were white, 8% were black. This indicates that white people are actually underrepresented, and those of South Asian or Muslim identity are significantly overrepresented.
Wait a minute. So 84% versus 7%? Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, no, never mind. No, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
When it comes to group-based child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Now, they've traced the abuse in this report to 149 local districts. Apparently, that is 40%.
And I want you guys to keep in mind that everywhere else in Europe is perfect, and this doesn't happen in any other country in Europe besides the UK. In the UK, you have all of these gangs doing this, but in other countries like Germany, for example, this never happens.
Of all of the districts across the UK, some girls were trafficked to the Middle East to undergo Islamic marriage abroad.
No way.
The victims were often called white trash or kafar, and victim testimony reveals that they were targeted specifically for being non-Muslim.
Wow.
The report identifies the Islamic doctrine of al-wala wal-bara as a key factor.
What is
they say it's superiority of men over women, domination of non-believers, sex slavery, etc.
The same usual stuff.
The report also says that it is directly due to mass immigration that this ideology was brought into Britain.
Of course.
Now, there was a failure right across all aspects of the state. Police reportedly ignored or destroyed evidence and criminalised the victims. Medical professionals allegedly discharged girls as young as 13 who presented at medical facilities with sexually transmitted diseases, who were pregnant, or who had even attempted suicide. Schools allegedly observed older men collecting girls at the gates. They
They're getting spawn camped? Holy shit!
heard disclosures about rape on school premises and responded by excluding the victims rather than protecting them.
Oh my God.
Licensing authorities renewed permits for drivers who formed the logistical backbone of the networks and collapsed in the face of organised protests when basic safety measures were proposed. I should point out that they were not black cabs involved in that. And it identifies political failures. The report claims Labour-dominated councils and MPs were briefed on the gangs long ago, yet later denied any knowledge. It says the party prioritised electoral reliance on Muslim voting blocks and then blocked or watered down.
This is why I don't listen to experts. This is why I don't read studies. Everything that I think is derived from very simple logic, first principles, and common interest. It's so obvious. If it seems that way, that's because it probably is.
Inquiries suppressed ethnicity data and framed legitimate concerns as...
These are the exact things that I accuse people of, and everybody said that I was wrong.
Far-right agitation.
Not everybody. Actually, a lot of people said I was
The
right.
report also criticises the Conservative Party, who, whilst in government, stands accused of continuing with Labour's approach and failed to impose mandatory ethnicity recording or launch a full statutory inquiry.
And that's another reason why there's less information, because they don't even share the information. That's another very big component here, is that the information is not even being shared because they had to shut it down because it looked so bad. That's exactly it. Did we not watch this, or am I crazy? We have not watched this. The more I'm seeing about this, the more I'm considering spending the entire day tomorrow, or however long it takes, reading the 200-page document. It will be a long and involved thing, but going through all of it on stream, I think, might be necessary. Almost 300. No, it's like 250. It's like 220 pages. Like, that's a lot. Filibuster time? Yeah. You know, genuinely, I feel like maybe I should do that tomorrow, man. Like, 290? Yeah, something like that. And post it on YouTube, right? Because, like, nobody probably is going to do that. And I guarantee you nobody's going to do it with a big audience, right? Nobody's going to do it with a big audience. And so it's like, I might have to do this. Man. Yeah. Look for the audiobook. I can read it myself. What the fuck? It's not a big deal. I feel like it means, like, if I listen, okay, I don't want to break the fourth wall here, right? But, like, there's a certain amount of, like, impact that it is of me reading it versus me listening to somebody else read it. Like, there's an impact that has. And so, like, that's unique versus just having it played by audio. There's a reason why I would be doing it. You can read. I just did. You see that?
Clear evidence from Rotherham and
I think
elsewhere.
I might do it tomorrow.
Also, Scottish political parties have refused a dedicated inquiry and failed to record offender ethnicity. The report also singles...
See, this is the way that they avoid having these connections be drawn towards these ethnic groups and towards the crimes, is they just simply don't talk about it. They don't ever write it down. So it cannot exist because the information's no longer being recorded. That's it. Early streamed then? Well, I think that each page, so logically, let me finish this and let's talk about it, okay? How about that? Is that fair? We'll talk about it after this.
Sadiq Khan for special criticism, stating that when he appeared to deny the existence of grooming gangs in London, quotes, these statements were made despite the Metropolitan Police holding reports of young girls being plied with alcohol and drugs, then raped by group...
Context. Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London. and he actively ignored, like, that's what there were reports that he knew that this was happening, and then while he knew that it was happening, he ignored it, and he said it wasn't happening. He lied to people knowingly.
Of men in hotels and other locations across the capital. A Daily Express investigation revealed that Sadiq Khan had direct access to some of these documents,
so he would know better
exactly
than anybody
these patterns of offending. The reports claim that he read the files, yet continued to deny the existence of grooming gangs in public. Sadiq Khan would no doubt deny the allegations in this report. The report includes very powerful testimony from victims and survivors, often through the use of false names to protect the girls' identities. And a warning now that the details I'm about to share are very distressing, but I think they do need to be heard.
Patriot.
Jen said that they have no compassion, speaking of her attackers here, they have no compassion for the young girls that are out on the streets. So they see us as slags, as white trash, as English pig dogs, she said they used to be called.
That's the second time I've heard somebody use the word pig dog. I've heard it used by one other person. Nobody else my whole life ever heard that from.
She said Muslims don't like pigs and they don't like dogs. So they hate dogs, they hate pigs, and they put women on the same level as that. Another survivor called Kate basically said that the Muslim girls that she knew were not treated in anywhere near the same way as the white British girls, highlighting the discrepancy there.
Let's also contextualize this. They were raped more softly. Oh, they're so nice.
Around race and religion. The issues of religious-based anti-white racism is actually a constant theme in this report. It quotes the testimony of one survivor, Dr. Ella Hill, who told the J Inquiry back in 2022, again a warning that what I'm about to say is distressing. She said, "I was told that I must respect their religion. This was the first of many confusing lies that I was forced to believe. I was told that to show Muslims respect, I mustn't eat pork. I was told that Muslim girls are good and pure and stay virgins until marriage, but all white girls are slags, and they all sleep with hundreds of people. I was told that white girls are trash, they're all whores, they don't obey Allah, so they deserve to be punished. They don't dress modestly. Muslim women are pure because they cover down to their ankles and down to their wrists, and the hem of their top comes below their knees. White girls show the curves of their body, so they are asking for it. They should be raped as punishment for not obeying Allah. Kafir girls are worthless. Sex with a kafir girl doesn't count as adultery."
That's convenient. How convenient that the religion just allows you to do everything that you want that's bad. Wow, what are the odds of that? Isn't that crazy? That somehow the book says that every bad thing you're doing isn't bad.
If you're not a virgin before marriage, you should be beaten. She says that many times she was told that the Quran says if one of your wives disobeys you, beat her. This was often quoted to me. Before they beat me with their hands, they believed they had a position of religious moral superiority over non-believers. They believed it was their duty to punish us, as they believed that doing so made them good Muslims. This is what they were taught by their mothers. They were taught that witches in Pakistan are blonde, so blondes are more evil.
That's not even true. Everybody knows that goth girls have black hair. They're not even, it's not even true. They're so stupid. They can't even get up their own, they can't even figure out their own mythology.
And they deserve worse punishment. She says she was told that in Islam, if a girl or woman looks at a man who isn't her brother, father, or her husband, then that means that she wants to have sex with him. So,
guys, I'm really sorry to tell you, but if a girl looks at you, it doesn't mean she wants to have sex with you. I really, really wish this wasn't true, but unfortunately, it is. I know, guys. I know. Yeah. You sure? I'm sure. Yeah.
I was told to look at the floor when I was around Muslim men. So when I did look at a waiter in a restaurant I was then taken away and gang raped as punishment. I was told that according to their faith community, girls are old enough for sex when they start their periods at age 11. Many of us had to endure the sexual act of thighing, which I'm now told is a religiously sanctioned way of molesting children, according to some Islamic scriptures. She says she was intimidated with guns, threatened with body parts being cut off with knives.
Of course.
Says, when I tried to escape, I was told that I had offended their honour, so they had to spill my blood.
Oh, that's convenient. Okay. Yeah, of course.
The report claims that another survivor, known as Sarah, says that her abuser presented her with a certificate from a mosque and declared that they were married according to Islamic rites. Later, he divorced her under Sharia procedure, simply stating, I divorce you 3 times. She was then immediately married in a ceremony conducted by an imam to a man she did not know. Within minutes of the ceremony ending, while the wedding party continued downstairs, she was raped by her new, quotes, husband.
This is some fucking third world garbage, bro. Like, what the fuck? How did you let the orcs into the Shire, man? What is going on, bro? Like, really? This is it. What's I don't know. It's something I don't want to even think about it. It's with underage. I don't want to even think about it. It's like Borat. It's worse. Like, the people in Kazakhstan and Borat were actually quite nice. Like, this is nuts. You've got to get the orcs out of the Shire, man. This is a huge problem. I don't know what to say. This garbage-ass third world bullshit needs to be eradicated from Western society. I'm glad to see. The thing is that, think about how mad people got at me 2 years ago for saying things that I said. And now people are saying that I'm not extreme enough because I want to deport them. Other people don't want to deport them. They don't. I'm the reasonable guy. It's crazy how that happened. How's rape okay, but pork isn't? Because they like having sex and they don't like eating pork? It's pretty simple. Like, yeah, they don't like it. It doesn't taste good. Yeah, I mean, duh.
Over the years, Sarah was subjected to 8 forced abortions.
Can't they just use protection? Like, I'm sorry, but like, what the fuck? Can't you just get her, like, Plan B or, like, birth control? Like, I mean, what are these people doing? They don't believe in it. Oh, my God. Why would they care? I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I think it'd be, like, wouldn't it feel, like, would you feel weirder having sex with a girl knowing that she had 8 abortions? Like, I would feel weird about that. I would. And maybe that's woke for me to say, but, like, I don't know. I think that, like, they don't care. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's, like, nothing about the, like, I mean, obviously there's, like, the horror and the brutality of it. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, of course. But then there's also, like, the illogical stupidity of it. It's just, it's so many parts of this are just so stupid.
One of them 5 months into pregnancy. In a separate case, Anna was living in a children's home in Bradford in 2002. From the age of 13, she was raped and abused while in the home, and at 15, she was forced into a Sharia marriage.
Wow, that took a while. 15, huh? A little bit late.
A social worker attended the marriage ceremony and permitted...
A social worker attended the marriage... What?
her husband's parents to foster her after she became pregnant. The parents received...
Like what, like foster parents? Oh my God. The social workers are Pakistani women. The offenders are rewarded with welfare bucks for rape. I guess.
Fostering allowance from the state. She says she became a domestic slave. The report also claims that clan culture from countries like Pakistan has played a role in the abuse.
Just like Minnesota. Just exactly like Minnesota with all of the clan wars in, the elections. Import the third world, become the third world. That's it. That's with a C, not a K.
Family honour is primarily vested in conduct, modesty and virginity of girls and women. Strict codes require obedience, covering and restriction, interaction with outsiders. Breaches within the community.
Do you guys ever think about, I'm sorry, but I'm just I'm a very, I guess I don't know, I'm either logical or autistic, right? Probably both. Actually, mainly autistic. I don't know. Why would you want to live like this? This just seems like it's really complicated, and there's all these rules to everything, and it's hard to do stuff, and everything. It's you're doing everything on hard mode. It's going outside. There's all these complexities to it. Eating certain foods. There's all the Jesus, man. Don't you have anything better to do? Really? Than invent rules like this? Holy fuck. It's just. I feel like it would just be exhausting.
Community trigger severe sanctions, including honour killings or collective retaliation by male clan members.
Collective retaliation by male clan members. Wow.
When the target is a non-Muslim girl, particularly white British girls, well, actually, the risk calculation shifts. They don't fear any kind of dishonour from harming them. No retaliation is expected from the girl's family or community, so they feel emboldened to act in that way. This view of women escalates into organised networks that traffic girls across regions, and that, frankly, this kind of level of impunity fuels the cycle.
Across regions, but wait, no. County, if you say county, it's oh my God, that's something different. Oh, wow.
Assaults without consequences create a perception of Britain as a place where such behaviour takes no risk, turning vulnerable girls into commodified products.
Oh my God. I just I don't see how people get this involved. I couldn't imagine having all of these rules and everything. Holy fuck, man. I grew up Roman Catholic, and this is 10% of that. Or that was 10% of this. There's so many fucking rules about everything. Holy fuck, man. Really?
Also states, and this is important, that abuse was perpetrated by these gangs against Hindu and Sikh girls, but especially the Sikh community mobilised against it in a way that the white population did not. Potentially due to fears of being called racist by the establishment. Now, this
is exactly... So basically saying Sikhs didn't like it, and so they fought back themselves. This is what I was saying. Remember what I said about how all of this is basically downstream of white guilt? This is exactly what this is my whole point. See? I'm literally just... Everything that I'm saying has been getting proven right. This is crazy. Wow, I'm being vindicated by everything.
The inquiry lays a lot of blame at the door of mass immigration, saying that across the West, our historic respect for individuals has, thanks to mass immigration, been overpowered by the more primitive attitudes that prevail elsewhere, according to which group membership matters most. First and foremost.
Exactly.
The elite's obsession with diversity has invited the latter to take advantage of the former. Scare words like Islamophobia and racism have been deployed to exploit the goodwill of Western...
Why is racism treated as the biggest problem in the world? It's a mode of control. And it's a good way, it's guilt culture. You have to remember that. I think racism and the accusation of racism is especially powerful Like, this is going to be like a meta level thing, and I don't really want to get into this for a long time, but I think that it's a meta level, like, overpowered strat inside of a Christian society, because there's a lot of internalized guilt that I think some Christian theology teaches. Things like, for example, original sin, or things like, for example, the Garden of Eden, and that, of course, that leading to original sin, and the idea that, like in the Old Testament, it's a fallen world, and all of this. So I think that really you already had a culture that was like predisposed to accept an original sin framing, and now you're weaponizing it against them in a new way. So the logic is racism was worse than rape and murder combined? Well, yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, so it's mainly about, so this is one of the things that people don't understand. I don't think that people really understand the value that other people place in being part of a group and not having the consensus go against you. People are terrified of being othered inside of a group. Like, I've never really understood this because I don't know, maybe a weirdo. But like, and I nobody likes getting kicked out of a group, but some people, this is their biggest fear. This is what they're more afraid of than anything else in the entire world, is being othered from their group. And because of that, and because of these people taking over the group apparatuses, by force, by the way, now they've been able to effectively hijack that messaging and that psychology as well. And that's the reason why.
Societies, paralysing investigations and enforcement. And just finally, the report finishes by making a host of recommendations to prevent anything like this from continuing.
I've got a few.
Some of those recommendations include increasing prison sentences for group-based sexual assault, reducing immigration, increasing deportation and denaturalization of foreign criminals.
Yeah.
Special measures should be ramped up for child witnesses in grooming gang trials, and this includes things like pre-recorded evidence, remote testimony, cross-examination that doesn't re-traumatize the child.
Yes.
The Crown Prosecution Service must also create a dedicated national unit for group-based child sexual exploitation, and they want a task force set up overseas to try to get to the bottom of what's going on there. They also want to set up a compensation scheme for victims.
It's a good idea.
And they want a statutory duty on every relevant public authority to record and publish the ethnicity, the immigration status, nationality, and religion of both victims and perpetrators in all such cases.
They don't want to do that. And the reason why is because they already know what that data is.
Look, simply put,
that's the reason why.
The contents of this report lay bare, in my view, the biggest scandal in modern British history.
No, it's European history. And I think even larger than that, it's Western history. I think things like this are happening in Canada and in the United States as well. The U.S. is a lot different. Our problems rhyme, but they're not necessarily the same. This is a great video. I think it really was. I'm going to link you guys the video that was Sargon of Akkad retweeted this, and I figured I would watch it myself. So the data was collected in the 1800s. Well, I don't know really what it was. There's the video right there that I just got done looking at. And it's more dangerous than Epstein? Absolutely. And I've been trying to say this, is that everybody who's trying to go on about how bad Epstein is, but they're not talking about this, they don't care about Epstein. They don't care about the kids. They only care about it being politically advantageous for them. So I'm thinking about, should I read the entire report tomorrow on my stream? Because I could literally just go live and like fuck around for like an hour or something like that, and then just get started. And then just read through this entire thing. And like, it's a 219 page document, right? It is. And if each page, let me just do a little bit of math, right? So if if each page takes me, let's say, 3 minutes to read times 220 divided by 60, that's 11 hours. That's a really long stream. I think I might have to do it. I might have to do it. 2-part stream? No, I think that there's like a degree of like authenticity of doing it all in one stream. I think that's the most impactful, right? So, yeah, maybe I'd have to do that. Now, Powder took 5 hours to read half of it. Well, yeah, but she's a girl, so, like, obviously a guy could read faster, right? Because they have a bigger brain and they can understand words better. So, like, I'd probably be able to read, like, over half of it in 5 hours. But, yeah, I mean, sure. Don't commit to it. Yeah, I mean, if I go through it, I will. I don't know, guys. I feel like I should. It took me 3 hours to read the whole thing. You'll be reading out loud and talking to chat. Yeah, I know. But that's okay. So yeah, I talk about each page for like 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I might have to, right? I mean, I feel like I kind of have to. I mean, maybe that's the right decision. I just have to go and do this. And like, how could Josie justify speaking out about Rupert Will's Grape Game Report and not have him on? Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what's going to happen. Many on here asked the same question. I actually saw, by the way, speaking of this, this is, and again, this is just, it's like insanely, like, it's nuts. The feminists sure are quiet. This is what I found to be very interesting. Isn't it weird how all the women who like complaining about how bad men are and how bad they live in a rape culture and everything else, none of them are talking about this report and how bad it is? It's because all of their feminism was bullshit. That's literally it. That's the reason why. It was just bullshit to begin with. That's the reason why I never took it seriously. I don't think anybody should have. The same, you hear the patch you want to speak on and read that part yourself? Yeah, I'll just read the whole thing. I'll read the whole thing. It's not really a big deal. Same as October 7th, those feminist organizations were quiet. They didn't care. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't know how anybody would support any of them. Like, I'm very angry. Like, I saw that, actually, before I go into this, let me go and show you guys something. I don't know if I can find the post about this or not. Give me 1 second. Where did it go? Because I saw, like, there was one post from Greg Bovino, and I thought it was a very interesting post that you don't really see a lot of recently. And now we're getting a very, very interesting new way of looking at things. So this is Greg Bovino. This guy used to be the Border Patrol, and he made a post, I guess, today. And he said, "Here at Vlad the Impaler's tomb. Folks, this reminds me that cultures have historically been marred by illegal aliens. One moment you're enjoying your hard-fought societal traditions and values, and the next invaders decide your land and your people should look like theirs. The Prince of Wallachia isn't some cartoon villain. He was a great hero to his people. When the Turks came rolling in, he did what was necessary to protect his culture and way of life. Sometimes the only thing standing between your civilization and the next wave of invaders is a motivated patriot willing to do what it takes." I could not agree more. I totally agree. I think that's absolutely it. It's pretty graphic. Might be against TOS. No, it won't be. I'll be fine. I'm just reading something. And so holy shit, man. I really like this guy. If this guy ran for office, I'd vote for him. I would. This guy seems like a psycho. He does. He seems like a guy that's willing, like, whenever I heard that he had a secret plan to deport 100 million people, I knew that, you know what? I think I could work with that. That's a man's man. It sure is. And he'd do the job. I know. Hope he runs for president. Yeah, I'd vote for a guy like this. Do you like Turks or not? Of course I do. I respect the Ottoman Empire a lot. But when Mehmet II invaded Wallachia and Romania, I think it was Romania, in 1460. And, you know, he was repelled by Vlad, you know, Tepes, you know, the Vlad the Impaler. I think really, I mean, that's impressive. It's extremely impressive. They fucked up. They did. And so, no, that's what it was. That's saying something. He's the guy. And a woman's man? I guess so. And so, yes, Vlad Tepes is Romanian. Yes. You know, he inspired Dracula? He did. He inspired Dracula. And you've got to keep in mind that, like, this is also at the height of the pinnacle of the power of the Ottoman Empire. Because in 1453, they took Constantinople. Well, I think it was that was whenever the siege finally ended. It took a couple of years. And so, and this was also like taking over Constantinople was like also like an engineering feat as well, because of the machinery and like the tools they used. And so this was like a huge turning point, like, peak level of Ottoman Empire. And they did all of this. And then 7 years later, they get repelled by this motherfucker, man. Where's the, yep, there it is. There it is. And so anyway, so stolen land. Well, yeah, I mean, Istanbul is kind of stolen land, but I respect it. And honestly, like, I mean, the Ottoman Empire were not stupid. Even Vlad the Impaler as a son. So the Ottoman Empire, you know how like Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones was taken to Winterfell and he was raised as a Stark and, like all of that. Well, the Ottoman Empire kind of did the same thing. And Vlad was actually raised in the Ottoman Empire. So he understood their supply lines, he understood their military tactics, their behaviors, their strategies, there's everything, right? And so he did all of this. And that's the reason why I think he was so effective at repelling them. And also keep in mind that, they marched on him, because they were trying to collect what was called the jizya, which is a tax that the Ottoman Empire was extracting from various countries that they had effectively overtaken. And Vlad just said, fuck you, I'm not going to pay this. And so obviously, I mean, you just got done taking over Constantinople. You're like, okay, well, let's go and fucking get this piece of shit, right? And apparently it didn't work that well. The jizya? Yeah, no, this... Okay, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn this today. I might be pronouncing it wrong. The trivia jizya for non-Muslims, and it was a non-Muslim country, right? And so there you go. So, because he's obviously Christian, and so check Rumble donations. Let me see if I can find this. Does it show anything? I can't even. Honestly, guys, I feel like such a fucking idiot. Who donated? It doesn't work for me. It doesn't give me any notification that somebody donated. I don't see anything at all. There's people spamming fucking... Holy shit, there's people spamming donations, but I don't even see what it is. Yeah, am I getting my own jizya right now? That's what makes your stream street? Jidro $500? Holy shit, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know why it's not popping up. I'm trying to get the Rumble wallet set up. I know a lot of you guys want to, have asked me about that, and I am planning on setting it up. Thank you. By the way, bro, like, if you never feel like you have to financially support me, I am a infinity millionaire person. I have, like, I'm dealing with a lawsuit. I don't even know how much money I've spent on it. Like, I have no idea. So please never feel like you have to support me financially in any way, shape, or form, okay? Like, I'm completely self-funded. I am set for life generationally. And if you want to support, I really appreciate it. But again, I just want to make sure that people understand that. I do not need, I do not ask for, and I do not require any form of financial compensation at all, whatsoever. And so, you're richer than Elon? I don't think I am. I think he's got me beat a little bit. He's got a little bit more money than I have. Yeah. And I might have more money in PoE than him. Yeah, so how about that? Yeah, how about that? Fucking. Yeah, Space Boy. How about that? How about that, Rocket Boy? Yeah. I got all those Divine Orbs. I got like 10 Divine Orbs last night. I only played for like 2 hours. Actually, no, I played it for like 1 hour. I had a good day. How many zeros? I don't know. A lot of. He's so many zeros ahead of me. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, Infinity Kids versus Zero. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but yeah, keep in mind, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. But please know that. And again, like that's really the way that I feel about it. So anyway, so Vlad the Impaler basically was able to repel them. And this was like unthinkable at the time. And he did it by being the most brutal, like he was literally sending lepers into their camps. Like, if you think that, like, dude, whatever, however bad you think that those smallpox blankets were in, like, you know, the American conquest of you know, like the North America, oh, this guy was doing it like with real people sending bioweapons. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Night Lord tactics. Exactly. He was that guy. He was. No one dared steal in his kingdom. Well, yeah, and there's a lot more to it as well, right? I could go into it, but the important thing to keep in mind is that he is most importantly a defender of Christianity and of Western civilization. He was, and I think that's respectable. It's extremely respectable. He was a hero, and keep in mind he was so fucking savage that there is an entire comic book villain mythology invented around this guy. Isn't that fucking insane? Think about that. Like, you have Vlad the Impaler, Rasputin, maybe Genghis Khan. Who else in history is like what was so fucking insane and so brutal that there are constant depictions that everybody is like that person. Like, I would say maybe Napoleon, maybe. Like, I don't, Nero? I don't think, I mean, Nero, no, I don't think so. Yeah, Hitler, right? I mean, they're not all good, right? But yeah, definitely Hitler, Alexander the Great, yeah. And Frieza, yeah, Frieza. I don't think Frieza was real, by the way. I'm pretty sure Frieza, at least not yet. And there's maybe a couple other ones I haven't really thought about. And let me see here what the other ones are. And some Egyptian pharaoh. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so you have this guy, the retired Border Patrol commander is Vlad posting. Oh my God. What the actual fuck is wrong with this guy? Admiring a guy who literally impaled people and then left them to torture them to death? Triggered libtard alert. Oh my God. I'm gonna be real. Like, if this dude runs for president, I'm gonna have a really hard time not voting for him. Like, you know, if JD and fucking Marco Rubio don't run together, they need to have this guy as your vice president. This guy is nuts. Oh my God. The Libtard support storm breaking into their house? Yeah, I guess so. Vlad also took out the points of the logs so they'd live longer while they were being slowly impaled through their anus. Oh, I didn't even know that. I had no idea. Well, that was probably a strategic thing. So by the time the Ottomans got there, the body wouldn't have fully decayed. So the diseases that the dead bodies would have would be more effective. So it wasn't even really about that. It is like a secondary goal for it, right? Because if you kill the body that fast, then it's going to decay a lot faster, right? I mean, if you ever watch somebody's body, you know, deteriorate, that's how it works. Or an animal die, or something like that. It's a biohazard war. Yeah. Well, it's like you're putting like a longer duration buff on like a debuff, right? So it's like instead of it lasting 20 seconds in the game, it'll be like 27 seconds, and that way you do more damage. So no, it makes sense. It does. More like mental, yeah. Or like Curse of Doom. Yeah, time delay, exactly. I think everything in my life is about video games. It all goes back to video games. It's important to keep this in mind. That's my main focus, is games. It's dot duration. Yes, exactly. The funny thing is he learned this brutality from the Ottomans. Well, I don't think they really did that, actually. I'm pretty sure they didn't, but like, I think that they were even shocked by it, honestly. But anyway, so that's really what it is. Oh, by the way, take a look. Oh, this is, again... Look who it is. We just covered this. We have the original clip translated after this. Okay, let me see it. Greg the Impaler 2028. I like the sound of that.
And American patriots.
Okay. Let me go and let me watch this, and then we're gonna watch that video, okay? Vlad was also trained by an Ottoman. He was captured prince, and his brother tried to dethrone him. Well, that's because his brother was more more obedient and more willing to listen to the Ottomans. He like basically betrayed his own country. And that's why his brother got him thrown in jail in, I think, Hungary.
We know that the very vast majority are actually British Pakistanis.
So hold on.
What you're trying to do, you're trying to deflect it into thinking it's somehow white men doing all this.
Oh my God. So in Glasgow, there were white men. So 11 people abused 3 children, one of them in a nappy.
What is this? Why is it lagging?
So in Glasgow, there were white men. So 11 people abused 3 children, one of them in a nappy diaper.
I'm not talking
white
about
gang.
Glasgow.
You're not talking about that, nor is Elon Musk. In the West Midlands, in West Midlands, a decade of child sex crimes. 21 white people abused 7 children, all of them.
See, guys? See, look. Everybody, see, it's not just one group that's doing this. It's happening everywhere. Everybody's doing it. It's both sides. See, guys, it's both sides. What do you mean? I don't see why you're targeting those one groups of people. Why is that?
Under the age of 12.
Right.
In Cornwall, in 2010,
These
3
aren't the
years of sex
scandals
crime.
we're
You're not going to
talking
cut me off
about,
when I talk
Mehdi.
about sex crime. 6 men. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. 6 men abused 30 girls, the youngest of whom was 5 years old.
I want to keep in mind that a person like this is actually more detrimental and more dangerous and has caused more harm than any of the Pakistani rapists. Because he does something that's worse than all of them. He provides cover for all of them, and he runs defense for them on an international level, trying to obfuscate their crimes. And I think that, like, you know, if the other government ever wins, they need to be looking at putting people like him on trial. They do.
And you've just made my point for me. These are the scandals we're not talking about. Why? Why are we defining child sex crimes and grooming gangs by race, unless you're
Because they're being done.
racist or trying to make...
Calling people a racist is... It's just been patched, bro. It's over. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares about these accusations. Nobody gives a shit. It's so over. The reason why we're talking about it based off of race is because it's happening overwhelmingly based off of race. This is the reason why. Now, Piers Morgan is he's still not ready to accept that. And I understand he's a mainstream figure and he has a position to hold and he can't go as far as somebody like I can go and I can't go as far as somebody like Nick can go. But let's be real.
Political hay out of this. I care about the victims of all crimes. I don't give a damn.
Piers is part of the problem. Piers, I don't think, is part of the problem. Piers is if anything, a neutral party that, I don't think that Piers wants to destroy Western civilization. I think that sometimes he can be a libtard dumbass, but overall, this person is more on your side than a lot of the invaders are. He can't, the thing is that, listen and understand my point. Everybody has a different role to play, and they have to understand that. He is in a position where he can't take the stance that I have. He can't take the stance that Rupert Lowe has. He can't take the stance that, Nick Fuentes has. He can't do that based off of his position. So he's doing the next best thing, is he's calling the people out that are on the other side, and he's calling them to count and holding them accountable. You have to recognize the position that other people are in and respect it. Not everybody is going to be able to do and say the exact things that you want them to do and say. That's it. How long until he can? Think about how much different what he's saying is now versus 5 years ago. You should be patient and rational and strategic. Piers Morgan is I understand that you will not align with him all the time, but to the extent that he aligns against this foreign invader who should be deported and probably put in jail, if not just totally deported, fucking sent back to where the fuck he came from, or wherever his parents came from, or wherever his grandparents came from, removed from the country. you know, he's against that person. And this person is your enemy.
Whether the perpetrator was brown, black, white, blue, or yellow. I think we should support the victims of those crimes. And if you're only obsessed with the perpetrators, as Elon Musk is, as Robert Jenner is, then you don't actually care about these girls. That's what Alexis J said.
But
this
the
week
argument,
on the
as you
BBC.
know, the
Care
argument,
about
as
the
you know,
victims.
yeah, the argument, as you know, from those who do want a big further inquiry, is that actually it was a very specific section of the community, a very specific section of the Muslim community, and it was British Pakistani men who they believe were operating under some warped cultural thing, which they felt entitled them to behave this way.
That's not proven, right? That's what we need.
So what's he going to say now? Now he's going to say the proof isn't real. So these people don't actually care about any statistics or data or anything like that. They don't care about that. So like so him saying that's not proven, you saying that like, oh, well, I can prove it now. It doesn't matter to him because he didn't care about it being proven to begin with. He just thinks that you care about it being proven. So he's using that as a defense. The inquiry import isn't proof. No, of course it's not proof. This is a person who believes that Muhammad flew to the moon on a winged horse. Do you really think that that's logical? Come on. He defended this position against Richard Dawkins on a stage.
It's what we need, obviously, more studying on, more research on. I agree with that, because these guys in places like Rochdale, Rotherham, were British Pakistani men overwhelmingly in those cases.
Yes.
But it's very interesting that you pick a sample and then say, these are the towns we're talking about, they're all brown. Well, why can't we talk about Cornwall or Glasgow or the West Midlands? I'm saying this is a phenomenon that happens nationwide. There are multiple peers, surely you'd accept, there are multiple factors. There are experts on child sex abuse who you should invite on the show, I'm not one, who will tell you there are multiple factors that cause this.
Listen to the experts that exist inside of ecosystems that do not allow you to have any opinions that contradict with what this official narrative is. Yes, let's listen to the experts. That's a great idea.
Stuff. I mean, this happens in every country in the world. In these towns, clearly there were a lot of things going on. We know about police corruption. We should be talking about police corruption
I just
in places like
mentioned it
Rotherham,
earlier.
where the police knew what was
police,
going on.
right.
And there are exactly, and there are allegations of like money and drugs going between the perpetrators and the
all
police.
sickening,
These girls were treated badly, not just because they were white. Not just because they were white peers. Let's talk about the class issue. Because they were seen as worthless. They were seen as poor.
Yeah, why?
Working class, not having any value or credibility.
Not because they're working class. That's not exactly it. So anyway, think about the arrested dude. I know he's going to now discredit him and his entire ideology. The experts are smiling down on us. This swine is annoying. He's just covering for his tribe. I think he is. I do. And I think the sooner that people realize how much of just how awful these people are, then I think that you'll begin to understand why people are so angry. I think it's true. It appears Harrow... Oh, also, by the way, remember whenever they said they were going to get rid of this guy because he was threatening somebody?
See?
Look at that. Remember these guys? They said they were going to get rid of him?
See this guy? Yeah, this guy make me the trouble. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? Yeah, see?
They're not angry enough? Not yet. Not yet.
This man make a trouble, innit? See?
They said this was an old video? I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. It's an old video, bro? Sure. Anyway, let's go look at this one here. All right, let's watch it. This is from yesterday.
Hello, dear European and American patriots.
That's
I need
me.
your help. Tomorrow, I may be sentenced to unsuspended prison for daring to say on French TV that the main danger to women in France comes from black African and Arab immigrant men, even though I was defending a woman who was herself raped by a Central African man subject to an OQTF order in the courtyard of her Paris apartment building.
Wow.
Having myself survived an attempted rape by a Tunisian migrant 4 years ago, I could not remain silent. But for having spoken these words on a television set, the prosecutor has sought a prison.
Somebody else in chat says that fix your own fucking problem. The US isn't Captain America. We have our own shit. You don't understand that there is a larger cultural goal that is at hand. if you normalize this type of deportation rhetoric and this type of Western cultural preservation, you normalize it inside of America as well, because we all share the same cultural, environment. So a win there is a win here. You have to think bigger picture.
Sentence against me. She dismissed our 2 stories as insignificant incidents which did not excuse my hate speech. Yet, all I did was describe a reality that most French people are afraid to speak about, precisely because...
And by the way, she's talking about this?
Tout va bien. Je suis direct sur le street.
Le lion va manger le coq ce soir à l'école.
Non, doucement.
Non, bisous.
This never happens. And so, by the way, now it's a locked post and no new comments can be posted. Wow. Why would you lock the post? Why would you do that? That's crazy. Reddit sucks. It does. They're enabling this. That's the point. Does it happen to everyone? Sure. So why the fuck should a country import more criminals and rapists? We're already stuck with the ones we have. Yeah, I know. Fuck Reddit, legit. I tried. Listen, I've tried. I've tried to explain it.
Justice system is capable of convicting them for describing what they see with their own eyes and experience firsthand. This is the repression faced by people in France who speak the truth out loud. But thanks to you, I have hope ahead of the verdict, which will be handed down tomorrow. Just yesterday, I was still hesitating to publish my story, thinking nobody would notice, and it has now spread beyond our borders. And thanks to this media pressure, the justice system may back down before trying to send me to prison.
It's not enough.
Instead of our attackers. Please share this message. We are no longer afraid. We are not alone. The French people are not giving in and are standing strong.
I can't say how to fix it. There's a way to fix it, but I can't say it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. And that's it. I mean, Elon would buy it. Yeah, I mean, Elon buying it would fix it. But like, other than that, I think that there are a lot of ways that you can do it, but I can't say anything. This was the original clip that got her in trouble. Okay, let me see the original clip. So this is what she said that apparently was a problem. Here we go. Let's listen to it.
Well, no, actually, what we should do, and I know it's complicated since we are talking about a specific case, is to also decouple things a little bit between, on one hand, the acts of rape and attempted rape, which are horrible regardless of the victim and the perpetrator, and the controversy, or at least the immigration policy, the fight against illegal immigration that is currently in place.
Regarding rape, but yes, you said something. You said the main danger for women in France is immigration. No, the main danger for women in France is men. It is men because...
It is...
What kind of men?
Black African immigrant men.
It is men because the overwhelming majority of those who assault women are men, regardless of their origin, as we have said regarding the complaints.
Well, no, actually...
Gonna have to do something about these people. You are. You're gonna have to do something about them. Because... You can't let the people... This is what's very important, is that you can't let the people that did this get away with it. You can't. Like, they've been complicit in a mass-scale rape for decades now. Was it? Yeah, it's only 87% theoretically, right? And these people refuse to check statistics. Well, yeah, they do. They do. They literally do. And that guy in Brussels the other day got arrested for, the other girl from the stream you just showed. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Okay, let me see that. A clip from yesterday's assault's been circulating on Twitter and Instagram, particularly with the aim of engaging in political point scoring at our expense. It's shared by ED's media outlets, which instead of showing empathy for the victim, prefer to make generalizations over the aggressor. So this is the girl and she's mad that we're using it this way? Well, here's the thing, is that I do not consent to this clip being reused, especially not for racist and xenophobic purposes. I will never have any affiliation with any media of that kind. Well, just like the African migrant that probably went and sexually assaulted you, I'm not going to respect your consent either. I'm going to do it anyway. I am, because he's going to go and he's going to do it to somebody else afterwards, and then that person is going to be hurt because of what you think is performative empathy. That's the reason why. I don't give a fuck. This is the thing, like, if you forgive your murderer, and then your murderer goes and kills somebody else, that's your fault. I have no place and no respect for any of these pretend, high-minded, oh, wow, I'm better than this. No, because it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about everybody else that these people are affecting. You don't, like, this is, your situation is 1 point on a graph of 1,000, of 1,000,000. So the idea that you don't want us to use this example because you don't want to be seen that way, no, that's not it at all. Invite you to watch this video. What is this here? Javier just went into a while ago. Amalgamation, Damien, I don't even know what this is. It's an amalgam, it's an observation. What is this here? All this is in fucking, it's in baguette. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. So she's not trying to get charged for a hate crime like the girl that you were just watching. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't care at all because, again, there is a larger issue at play here. Because whenever she doesn't want to use her voice and use her experience to do this, what she's really doing is she's allowing that same bad thing to happen to somebody else. That's really what it is. She's allowing it to happen to somebody else. I got correct? Exactly. Let me see. What is this here? Can I find this? What's this comment? Only if you had studied one day in your life. Do you mean me or the other person? I'm just confused. Like, are you talking about me or what? Can you blame her for self-preservation? Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, if the only reason why she's saying it is because, like, I mean, there's nothing, like, she doesn't have to say that. She doesn't, there's nothing, like, she's not going to have a violation against her because some guy sexually assaulted her, right? She's going out there and she's virtue signaling. She is. Not you, obviously. Okay. Anyway, so she's enabling the assault of other women. Yes, she's enabling the assault of other women in order to push forward her own, like, pathological empathy. So that's it. She wants a moral medal. Well, again, that's just what's going to happen. And he said, no, you. Wait, what is this here? And saved by dyslexia? Really? I don't give a shit. I mean, again, if I see his messages again, I'm reading. You guys have to understand. I am reading 50 different things. I'm looking on 3 different monitors. I'm keeping up with multiple messages. I'm talking constantly. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. I'm going to mess up. I am. I'm going to mess up. And so every once in a while, I might not see one or I might read it wrong. And so you got lucky. You got lucky. And yeah, don't talk shit or that's what's going to happen. And Count Danko's video, she's apparently only speaking for the other woman on the right next to her. Well, I don't know about that. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to post I'm going to post and talk about it anyway. I am. It's too bad. Too bad. It's the way it is. Thought you were perfect? I know. I do my best, right? Said you weren't educated, and he said I wasn't educated and I didn't read it right. Hey, like, it is what it is. And anyway... And so, yeah, W for being human. Yeah, I guess so. And let's see here if I can find the other ones. But yeah, obviously, I think it's just embarrassing taking crazy pills. People are just awful. But let me go back. I'll pull this up and I can find the other ones. But yeah, it's just really fucking embarrassing to see this happen. And I salute you. Well, that's just the way it is. And where is this here? Oh, here we go. Andrew Tate offers... Wait, what is this here? Can I find it? Oh my god. given that there's apparently not a single wealthy person who's come forward to finance a documentary about the rape gangs and the government involvement in the series, maybe Restore Britain should launch a crowdfunding initiative. I'm in a difficult position myself, but there's not a single more important cause at the moment. And then Andrew Tate says that I will donate. What's the total cost? My estimates for a professional series review is at least €500. I think it's probably about $1 million to do everything, to have all the employment and everything. Like I would help fundraise for something like this. I would. And I'd contribute myself. I absolutely. So yeah, if they want to do that, if Tate's not able to put it all in, that's fine, and it's that simple, right? And Tate doesn't really care. He does it for the attention. Good. I'm giving him attention for it. I hope he keeps doing it for attention, because it's a positive thing. I have no interest, like, to the extent that a person is doing something that I want them to do, that's what I care about. I don't care about anything else besides that. It's very, very simple. And so anyway, let's see here. Strike where the iron's hot. Kerper Tate pledges his support to help a professional dossier about the rape gangs in Britain. Yeah, and I think also, like, here's another thing, is that there are guys that are living from, like, the Middle East and other places in the country, in the world, in Britain or in Germany or France or wherever. And all of those people, like, many of them, I don't know if it's majority, right? I don't want to say majority or minority. Many of them don't want to deal with this shit. They don't. There's a reason why they left their home country. It's because they don't want to live in a shithole that does stuff like that. So I think that you should expect to see a number of these immigrants and people that are not, native British people that also support this. You consider setting up your own orgs for foundation to be like anti-Soros. I don't want to be that involved. I think to the extent that I start doing that kind of stuff, why do they keep voting for it? Well, they're not all doing it. That's the reason why. Isn't Tate a Muslim himself? Well, you have to keep in mind that if the Muslims that were doing this inside of Great Britain did this in Dubai, they would be dead. They'd all be dead. So the entire idea that, like, there's some global conspiracy that every Muslim agrees with this, it's not true. There's a reason why they're doing it in Britain and they're not doing it in Dubai. There's a reason why they're doing it there and not in, fucking Qatar or UAE or Saudi Arabia or something like that. It's because they'd be dead. All Muslims don't fall into the same category. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's the same as, like, Christianity, right? Like, I feel like Islam has, like, more, it's, like, more monolithic than Christianity, at least based off of, like, what my observation is. But there's going to be a lot of, like, really big differences. Like, there's the biggest difference, which is the Shia and Sunni Muslim, which is like, basically it's like, there's this is not a very good comparison, but it's kind of like the difference between, like, Orthodoxy and, like, Roman Catholicism. Like, that's not a great comparison, but there's, like, parallels to it. I could explain it, but it's not super important to go through. That's an L comparison? Oh, I don't know. It's a different denomination. Yeah, I would say so. It's like denomination. And yeah, is that how it is? Yeah, definitely. Asmon's kind of shilling for Islam. It's gross. Well, I think I'm being reasonable with people that want to be on my side. Like, I'm a diplomatic person. I try to be a diplomatic person about everything. L comparison? Okay, well, people are really upset about this. Basically, what happened is that Shia Islam believes that the line of Muhammad, my understanding, is the line that should be continuing, and then Sunni Islam focuses more on a caliphate. And so the fourth caliphate leader was actually Muhammad's, I think, his father-in-law or something like that. And so, who was then martyred later on in a war. This is in, like, 800 and, like, I think, was it 63 or something like that. So, like, I think that's mainly the difference. So there's, like, more of a hereditary expectation where this person has a more close understanding of God than, let's say, other people. So that's the reason why I compared it with, like, orthodoxy of the one among many with the Bishop of Rome versus, like, the Pope in, Roman Catholicism. That's the reason why I did that. So I actually think that it's a decent comparison. It's not a 1-for-1, but it's not 0-for-1 either. Okay. So it's not even close? Okay, sure. You can look it up. Explaining the moon landing? Yeah, definitely. And anyway, yeah, it's not even close. People that don't understand it or whatever, I guess, like, what am I even doing arguing with these people? They don't even know what they're talking about. And so anyway, even I would not consider myself an expert on this either, right? I just have like a cursory understanding. So anyway, stop trying to relate and LARP to religious people. I mean, I'm just trying to help people understand it. But okay, if people don't want to hear it, that's Jesus Christ. Like, it's Goyim, bro. Like, it's more Goyim. There's too many Goyim. Like, it's too many Goyim, bro. That's a lot. And so all night long arguing about other people's interpretation. Yeah, you explained it well. I hope so, right? I mean, like, I have no idea.